Grant, how pleasing to have Brad Inman back in action this weekend.
Yeah, it was great to get him 70 minutes. Probably played 10 minutes more than we wanted, but he felt good in the game. Good to get him 70 minutes, and the most pleasing thing to come out of the 23 game, to be honest, getting him 70 minutes and getting Lee another 90 minutes as well. So pleased to get that for them too.
Has Brad come through okay, unscathed?
Yeah, he's still a little bit tentative, really. You know, in terms of his maybe getting tackling somebody. He got a whack in the game, to be fair, which we liked. It was on his ankle as well, just to see if he could come through it, and he did. But he's still a wee bit tentative. We just want to we don't want to force him back, you know, like and for him to do anything silly. He definitely came into contention to be in the squad for Saturday, which is definitely pleasing for us.
Would you ideally want to have another 1-2 under 23 games before you decided to start him?
Yeah, possibly. Definitely. I mean, listen, the team's playing well at the minute, so unless you're Lionel Messi, you'll struggle to get into this team. But nah, so it's good to have him back. The team's in a good place. The squad's in a good place, and we'll look to introduce him slowly.
And it's a game, isn't it, this weekend, to get the blood pumping again, a local derby?
Yeah, no, it's so important. I remember speaking before the last one. You know, we done well in the last game. It was a good performance. We came out on top on it. But I know for a fact that Northampton are a wounded animal this time coming. The manager's already said it, that the players will know more about this derby. And it's going to be a tough game. This will be the toughest game of the season for us. But we're under no illusions that they're a decent team. They pick up some good results. They've got some really good players. But so have we, and like I always say to you, so we'll go and hopefully take our game to them.
You were very good, weren't you, on that Tuesday night, fully deserving of the 3 points?
Yeah, it was a good performance. The score off 2 set plays that we worked on was good, and to get one at the end, the 2 subs made an impact, Guion and Tom Nichols. So it was great for us. It was a great result. It was good for the fans. That was for the fans, because we were disappointed in the game before that. We want to keep our run going. We're on a good run at the minute. I think we won 6 from 8. We want to keep the confidence, and everything that we're doing at the minute is coming to the fore. So it's important we keep that going.
It's an important weekend, isn't it, for the supporters? They were great at the ABAX on that Tuesday night. They've travelled in their numbers, haven't they, this season? Your away support in particular has been superb, and you'll need that again this weekend at Sixfields. Yeah,
I mean, obviously there's hundreds upon hundred people who can't get tickets to come to the game. But it's good that the club's, bringing it back to the stadium for them to watch it. We'll have a big fan base there. The fans travel in their numbers anyway. Even if it wasn't Northampton, they travel everywhere. I was surprised to see so many at the Barnet game, to be honest. In the game that really didn't mean much. So our fans are great away from home, and I'm sure they'll be 100% behind us on Saturday. Really, really tough game. The players know that, but one that we're looking forward to.
And we've spoken a lot in the last week or so about that big game mentality. You'll need that again, won't you, this weekend, because it is, as you mentioned, one of the biggest, really.
I think we've got it in the squad. I think we've got players who like the big games. You can see it in their training. The intensity they trained at this morning was great. The tempo they played at. So everyone's really looking forward to this game. They know what it means to the fans. They know what it means to the club. The local derbies is all about, keeping your head, but being aggressive with a controlled aggression about you is probably why we got the result in the last game. We need to do that again and more. I told the boys this morning this will be a tougher game than the Bolton game. We're going to need to produce exactly the same as we've done against Bolton, but more, to win this game. So everybody's clued into that.
I was just speaking to Jack Baldwin, who's on 4 yellow cards, and Forrester and De Silva Lopez the same, but something you can't really worry about, I suppose, particularly going into a local derby.
No, listen, if it happens, it happens. We obviously would like him not to be suspended, but I wouldn't ask any of my players to start pulling out of tackles in case they miss a game, especially in a local derby. So they wouldn't be worrying about it. I think you've seen the last performances from them, so they haven't pulled out anything. Unfortunately, they haven't been booked. So it's being clever as well. I think they are. So I'm sure they'll be thinking about that as well.
You alluded to it earlier, but it's great to be going to a game like this on such a good run. Confidence is high. Tafazoli was saying to us in in midweek that the players just can't wait for games to come along. They could have had a match on Monday and they would have looked forward to it. There wouldn't have been any tiredness because you've got that enthusiasm and buoyancy in the squad at the moment.
I think it's taken a little while. I remember going back to possibly last month and the month before when we were drawing all the games and we were losing the odd one, and people were worried where the results were going to come from. But I could see it. I could see something. I think the Bristol Rovers, the last minute in Bristol Rovers something changed for us. I think they started to believe in what we were doing. Everything that we're doing with them on the training ground in terms of our pressing sessions, our enthusiasm to win the ball back, they're starting to take it on board a lot easier and a lot better now. I think they're more focused in meetings. When we have meetings, you can see them listening a lot more. And everything just seems to be coming together a lot better now. I'm not saying we're going to go on and win the league or anything like that. We take one game as it comes, as we always have. And the next game is Northampton. The Bolton games we put to bed straight away when the boys were in on the Monday. And we're fully focused on this game. It's a massive game for everyone connected to the football club. We're under no illusions about that, and where everybody's really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I guess it must be rewarding when you can work on things on the training pitch and then show the players how it's worked for them in matches, and therefore is won you points as they sort of get that to their armoury. They realise what they're doing is useful day in day out.
It's important. It's important the way we play at the minute. I think you've seen us in the Bristol Rovers game and the Bolton game in terms of we want to try and win the ball higher up the pitch. We want to get after teams, and it just takes one person just to switch off in it, and it can get undone. Fortunately for us, in those two games, everyone were on it. We might have to make sure that everybody else is on it as well. And the game's coming up against two good teams in Northampton and Scunthorpe. Firstly Northampton. If we're on it, I've said it before, we're a match for anyone. If we're not, then we can get beat by anyone. That's the fact. Fortunately, we've been on it for the last 6 wins out of 8. We've been there, and it's just keeping that focus there, not getting above your stations, not thinking you've cracked anything. We ain't done nothing yet. 100% done nothing yet. We just need to make sure we keep taking each game as it comes. And no better one than a local derby against Northampton. And
I suppose selection is pretty simple for you, isn't it, this weekend, barring injuries, because the team did what you asked them to do against Bolton.
It's nice to have everyone available. That's what the nicest thing is. Getting into the Bolton game, we had everyone available apart from Jermaine, who's a long term, and we had everyone available. So it's great to have everyone available, everyone fighting for their places in the team. So that's the most important thing for me. Like I said, you've got Lee and Brad come back now, gives us more options. And I looked at my bench on Sunday, and I've got people coming off the bench who can make an impact in terms of Guion, George Moncurley, and goal Paul Taylor. It's strong. So we know we can make impacts from the bench as well, which is really, really important.
Last game of the EFL Trophy against Barnet, you won it, of course. I saw yesterday you've been fined $3,000 after that game for breaking the rules. Does that leave a bit of a sour taste? Because obviously you try and get a couple of youngsters a bit of game time. You want to play some of your players that haven't been starting matches. Annoy you that you've been fined and penalised for that?
It does, considering the team we put out, because it wasn't no youngsters. It was first team members. I tried to, I think there was a rule in it that you have to play 5 of your most appearance holders, or I think it's 5 from the previous lineup before, and I mixed it between the lineup before and the 5 appearance holders. So, obviously we've got it wrong somewhere down the line. I think I knew, when I put the team out, we could possibly be 1 short. Luke wasn't in the highest appearances, so it's a disappointing, it's a disappointing rule, really. I think it was important in them games that I tried to blood at some of the younger ones who haven't really had many game time but are part of our first team squad, and I can see where people are getting frustrated with it. The Premier League clubs can make as many changes as they want, and they can put whoever they want into it, but the Football League teams don't get that luxury. So it's disappointing, but we move on.
Yeah, that was a point I was going to make, because of course you're limited with how many of your youngsters you can play. You want to get them in competitive action, but the Premier League academy clubs can mix and match and play £10 million signings if they want to. I think that's annoyed most of the EFL clubs, hasn't it? Not just yourself.
I mean, you've seen some of the teams in it. You know, I think Bradford took a goalkeeper off after like 3 minutes in one of the games. Martin Allen took one of their players off after 5 minutes in the Barn. It was just, you know, it was crazy the way some teams were, you know, some of the rules in the competition. But to be honest with you, I'm glad it's gone now. I'm glad it's out of the way. I don't know what they'll do next year, whether they'll keep it the same or not. But our only focus now is the Northampton game on Saturday.
Good stuff. Thanks for